All right, guys, welcome in. My name is Johnny Ochoa. I run Asphalt, Paving Marketers, and Demolition Marketers. And today I'm going to do something a little bit different than the other videos on my page. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to go through a few audits of demolition companies and asphalt paving companies throughout the US. And I'm going to give my 2 cents on what they should be doing and ways that they can rank in that Google Business Profile 3-pack. That 3-pack, again, is the most important marketing resource that you can have as an asphalt paving business or a demolition business, because 60 to 70% of the high quality traffic is going to find the business that they want to work with in that map pack. And why is that? It's because in that map pack, it has everything a customer needs. It has your location, it has reviews of past customers, it has pictures, it has Q&A areas, it also has updates from the business. So a customer can get everything that they need to know about a business from that Google Map Pack. They don't have to essentially click on the website. Google is starting to bring in your social media profiles and your social media posts into the Google Maps area. So Google wants to make it as easy as possible for a customer to find all the information that they need to make a decision right there on Google. They don't want anyone to click into the website or click onto different websites in order to find the information. Google wants to keep customers on Google. So how are they going to do that? They're going to allow a business to add all of the information they need on that Google Business Profile area. So hopefully that's making sense. All right, so we are going to jump over into Google now, and I just typed in Demolition Contractor Orlando, so that way we can look at this 3-pack here. So we have Residential Demolition of Orlando, that has 85 reviews, Dr. Demolition has 53, and Demolimax has 46. So first thing I want to point out is having more reviews is not essentially going to get you ranked into this top 3, but it is going to help with conversions. So if I'm an unbiased customer and I land on this 3-pack, I'm definitely clicking Residential Demolition of Orlando first, then I'm going to click Dr. Demolition, and then I'm going to pick Demolimax third, because these guys have 85 reviews, these guys have 53, and these guys have 46. They all basically have 5-star reviews, so it's going to be the person that has the most reviews is going to get the first crack at the customer. Now, you might look at this and say, wow, 85 reviews, that's a lot. But why I always say that asphalt paving and demolition is behind the times, if we did the same thing for roofer in Orlando, so these guys here, the guys that are ranking in the top 3 in the map pack, 403 reviews, 536 reviews, 533 reviews. Again, just to be in the same conversation as these other guys. Let's just say you only had 50 reviews and you happen to be ranking in this map pack, you're going to be number 3 every single time. So if we come back to Demolition Contractor, the guy with 85 reviews is killing it right now. It's 2026 and the top guy in Orlando only has 85 reviews. That's why I say that there's still plenty of time in order to be the best known demolition contractor or asphalt paving contractor in your area, because the bar is not as high as these other industries. Let's go back into HVAC. So HVAC of Orlando, top guys, 1,000 reviews, 1,800 reviews, 1,200 reviews. Again, if you're a business just starting out in HVAC, it's going to be a huge uphill battle in order to knock off these top 3 map packs. So you're going to have to run a shit ton of ads just to get some kind of leads coming in. You're going to have to be hitting the pavement. You're going to have to be knocking on doors, because getting in this 3-pack is going to take you 12 months to do. It's not going to be something that's done overnight. So again, Demolition Contractors, 85 is the top guy in Orlando. So that's why I say right now, again, 2026, there's still plenty of time to be the number 1 ranked Google Business Profile as a demolition or asphalt paving contractor. So let's come into asphalt paving of Orlando. So the top guy, again, 83 reviews, 79 reviews, 49 reviews. If you really wanted to, you could get 20 reviews a month, 30 reviews a month. That's 1 review every single day. So basically in 3 months, if your website looks good, if your SEO is good, and you get ranked in this top 3, basically in 3 months, you could be the top asphalt paving contractor in the Orlando area. Again, in 3 months, you're not doing shit in Orlando if you're an HVAC guy. It's going to take 12 months, maybe even 2 years, just to mimic what these guys are doing. And you got to think, because HVAC is so competitive, these guys are probably not going to stay at 1.2, at 1.8, at 1.2. You got to think in a year from now, they're going to be at, these guys are going to be at 2,000 reviews, 2,300. These guys are going to be up to 1,700. It's just basically a snowball. And they're so far ahead right now of a new company that just wants to get into business. Not the same for an asphalt paving guy in Orlando. And again, not the same for a demolition contractor in Orlando. So again, branding is huge right now, and just getting your Google business profile ranking, it's still possible to do in 3 months, in 6 months, when other industries, you're looking at a year's time. So let's go into why these other guys are not ranking. So again, we have the residential, demolition, Dr. Demo, and then Demoli Max. So these guys are ranking 1, 2, and 3. So let's figure out why Titan Demolition is not ranking in the top 3 on Google Maps. So what we'll do first is we'll take their website and we'll open it up into a different tab. So what we like to do first is we like to see what we're competing against. So if these guys are ranked in the top 3, they're obviously doing something right in Google's eyes. So what we first like to do is we're gonna see how many pages that they actually have indexed. This says only 1. I cannot believe that, which is true. These guys only have 1 page indexed by Google, which is crazy. Again, to be ranking number 1. Site demolition floor, no. Dr. Demolition, let's see how many they, no, this is not right. All right, this now, so these guys have 39 pages indexed, and then let's go with Demoli Max. Let's see how many. So all I'm doing is site colon, and then we're gonna see how many pages they have indexed. This didn't do it right. Let's try again. This is pulling up everything for Demoli Max. Let's go back to their page, services. Let's just assume that it's not very many. So they have a home page, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's just say 5 pages, which is not that much, again, for ranking 1, 2, and 3 in Orlando. So now let's look at this guy who's ranked number 4, and let's see how many reviews he has, or how many pages indexed he has. So let's go into here, let's do site colon, Titan Demolition, that's not right. Let's do www. So these guys have 10 pages. So why do we do that? Why do we see how many pages are indexed in Google for the top 3, and then maybe for your business if you want to see how to get ranking in that top 3 on the map hack? So Google can only know what you are as a business, where you do business by your website. So yes, you do have a Google business profile and you're able to fill it out, but majority of the juice that comes from your Google business profile ranking is gonna come from your website. So Google is gonna come crawl your website. It's gonna find out everything about you on your website. So what type of demolition do you do? Interior and commercial, sheds and barns, concrete and stucco removal for Dr. Demolition. So these guys have a little bit more pages indexed. I think this was the 39. So residential, commercial, selective, concrete. So this is where Google is going to come to find majority of the information in order to rank you. Because the Google business profile area, there's only so much here, right? There's only so much. See the services, you only give a 1-word answer of what your services are. You do have an address, so it helps Google figure out where you're located. But in order to figure out if you're an actual business, if you should be trusted by Google, it's going to, again, go to your website. So we like to look at how many pages indexed by your competitors to see how many pages we're going to need in order to be competitive. So if I was Titan Demolition and I wanted to get my Google business profile ranked in this top 3, one thing that I would do is if the top guy in this area is the Dr. Demolition with 39 pages indexed, I'm going to try to find, or I'm going to try to make 39 pages on my website. So right now these guys had 10, I believe. So I'm going to add another 30 pages of content on my website in order to compete with that top 3. Now you're going to say, this top guy here, the residential, demolition of Orlando, these guys had 2 pages. Why are they ranking? So one thing could be that these guys have been around for so long that is why Google trusts them so much. It's not because of the content on their website, but they're probably good at answering the phones. They probably have someone in the office that's really good about getting back to the customer. So Google, again, ranks them because A, they have shit ton of reviews, and B, they're probably helping. So whenever a customer goes to them, they are really good at goal completion, which is basically a customer is searching for a demolition contractor in Orlando. They call Residential Demolition of Orlando, and Residential Demolition of Orlando completes the goal of getting them booked or completing their job. So because they're doing that, Google is ranking them high. Again, probably because they've been around forever. If we look up when their first reviews happened, let's go to review, let's go to newest, and let's go back. See how far back they go. Yeah, so it looks like at least 6 years. So at least 6 years, this Google Business Profile has been live. They've been getting reviews for 6 years. They have the most reviews in the top 3 area. And if we keep scrolling down, these guys have the most reviews overall, but even, the guys ranking 5, 6, 7 don't even have 85 reviews. And even if we keep going, nobody else is even close to having that many reviews. So again, let's get there. So that's just probably why these guys are ranking. But again, let's go to Titan Demolition. And now what we're going to do is we're going to run a heat map to see where they're actually ranking in Orlando for their key term, which is going to be Demolition Contractor Orlando. So Titan Demolition, see if that comes up. Okay, here these guys are. So if you've never seen one of these, this is a heat map. So what it does, and if you don't know, this Google Business Profile area, it's going to change based on where you're located. So if you are, if you're located in Pine Hills and you do a Google Business search for the key term Demolition Contractor, you're usually going to see a different 3 than if you were in, let's just say, give me another area. If you were in Wedgefield. So if you're in Wedgefield, you're going to probably see a different top 3. So what this does is it shows you for this Google Business Profile, we're going to take a key term like Demolition Contractor Orlando. And then what it's going to do is going to show us where they're ranking in the top 3 in that Google Map area. So let's make it a little bit bigger. We'll run the scan. So we want the local pack. And then what it's going to do is it's going to show us. All right, so this is what the Titan Demolition, this is what their heat map looks like for the key term Demolition Contractor Orlando. So what this means is that in areas like Lake Buena Vista, Hunters Creek, Sand Lake, they're ranking in that top 3 map pack, so people can find them in this area. But what these 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s, what these all mean is that when someone types in Demolition Contractor Orlando, they are outside this top 3, which means they're not going to be found because 9 out of 10 customers are not going to click on more businesses if these 3 don't suit what they're looking for. Most of the time, customers are going to just come back in here and look for or type in a different key term in order to search. So if you're outside of this top 3 area, you're never going to be found. So again, good news is that they do have some trust with Google because they are ranking in that top 3 for a small area, but for the majority of Orlando, these guys aren't ranking anywhere. So what these guys should do is they should be adding more content to their Google Business Profile. So like I mentioned before, right now they have 10 pages of content that is indexed by Google. They should probably add another 30 pages of content. And that content for this business specifically, they should be focused on specific areas. So all these 4s, 5s, and 6s, if I was doing their marketing or if I was their business, what I would do is I would look at these 4s, 5s, 6s, and even 7s, and I would start putting content on their Google Business Profile specifically for these areas. So what I would do is I would come in hyperlocal to, okay, so let's go out. So let's say here, right here in Orlando, we have this 6, right? So what I would do is I would put content on their website that talks about the Country Club of Orlando, maybe talking about demolition projects that they've done in this area or talking about potential demolition that could happen in the Country Club of Orlando. So make sure that the content is relevant. So don't just put up some AI bullshit slop that a lot of these people are making nowadays. Actually make it informative. So make it so, top 3, the soil, maybe the soil that is in the Country Club of Orlando is this way. So then once you make content of the Country Club of Orlando for demolition, maybe we can move over here to Winter Garden. Let's see if there's anything here in Winter Garden. So Veterans Memorial Park. So now we'll have a page dedicated to Veterans Memorial Park, demolition, why demolition is needed here because of the, I don't know, something that's located in here. Maybe their tennis court had to be excavated or something like that, or their baseball fields needed to be demolished, or their playground needed to be demolished in order to put in a new playground. Anything that speaks to this area specifically. We want to get hyper local. We don't just want to talk about Orlando in general. We want to get hyper local with our content in order to turn these 4s into 3s. So I made another video talking about these heat maps and what to do for each one if your map looks like this. So a little bit of green and then all yellows. If this is your demolition company, so what you should do if this is your demolition company is completely different than what the Titan demolition people should be doing. So these guys need to be hyper local with their content because Google does trust them. They trust that they're a demolition contractor business in the Orlando area. Google just doesn't think that Titan Demolition can do Orlando in, let's just say, northern Orlando. If you are Rocks Demolition, or let's just say these guys, pool removal and demolition. So what this heat map tells us is that Google doesn't trust this business that they A, do demolition, and B, can do demolition in these areas because there's no 1, 2s, or 3s anywhere. So if we look, their Google business profile address is probably located somewhere in here. So for a business like this, what we need to do is we need to start building some trust with Google. So that's getting backlinks. The most important one that I always tell business owners to get is get a Chamber of Commerce backlink. It's going to be like $500, $600, so pretty expensive, but just having that trust on your website is going to be huge in Google's eyes. And then once we get that, we wait a month and then we see, does this Google or does this heat map change and all? And if it does, but we're still not ranking 1, 2, and 3 anywhere, that means we need more backlinks. So that's when you can get backlinks from, let's say there's like a chili cook-off, or there's a little league, or there's a 5K run, or a marathon, or some kind of CrossFit event, or a country fair, county fair. So that's when you need to get backlinks for local trusted websites like a 5K or like a county fair that's in your area. The more that you get these backlinks from these trusted websites that are local, the more Google is going to trust you and say, hey, if this 5K run, what's been going for the past 10, 20 years, if they trust this local business and in order to put them on their website, then we should trust them too. So again, once this heat map starts to move into something like even like this, so Orlando Demolition. So this one, again, they are a little bit trusted. Google just doesn't trust that they can service a wider area. So again, I will link a video going through all of these, if this is your business, what you should do. So I was going to do an asphalt one. This is getting way too long. So I'll do an asphalt business next time. Hopefully this was helpful and informative. If you want us to run a heat map for your business so you can see, maybe you're in the top 3, you guys are killing it, and we just need a few more locations, or maybe, you're good in one area, but Google doesn't trust you in another, or maybe just altogether Google doesn't trust you. That's huge to know where to start with your SEO, because you could go to an SEO guy, like let's say your Google business profile looks like this, and you can go to an SEO guy and he starts putting in hyper local content and starts talking about neighborhood pages. It's not going to do anything for your Google business profile ranking because Google just doesn't trust that you are a local business. So you can put in as many local pages that you want, and it's not going to move the needle. And similar to a business like Titan Demolition, the one that we went over, so you can do as many, you can put more, you can get in the Chamber of Commerce and sponsor a bunch of local events. It's really not going to move the needle as much as adding in more hyper local content to your website. So you could be spending money and wasting money in different areas for different, if you're working with different marketing companies. So first thing to always do is to run a heat map, see where you are, see if Google trusts you, see if you need to more topical relevance on your website just to show Google that you are a legitimate business in that area, or do you need local pages in order to show Google that, hey, we can actually service this Forest City area. We can also service this Longwood area. So again, hopefully this was helpful. I'd love to run a heat map for you. Click the link below. Also, I just created a free school community in order for you to learn more about marketing, ask me questions at any time. And also I created an app so you can run your own Facebook ads. A lot of marketing companies, they're going to charge you $600 to $2,000 just to manage your Facebook ads. When the hardest thing right now for Facebook ads is just content and creating more creatives in order to get people to stop the scroll. Because you got to imagine there are so many ads being run. You have to make that creative scroll stopping. And so that's the hardest part of running Facebook ads. It's not the targeting. Facebook is so good about targeting your audience. They know your audience better than you do. So it's not these, you don't have to put in interests or anything like that. You let Facebook do that part. The hardest part is creating the creatives, which we help you do with this free app. So take a look at that. Join the school community below if that's something that interests you. If you ever thought about running Facebook ads, or if you have in the past and it hasn't been successful, I will walk you through our step-by-step process that gets you running profitable Facebook ads in less than 3 days. So thank you for joining. I appreciate it and look forward to speaking with you soon. Take care.